I want to talk about one more kind of from the headlines here, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's in the headlines right now, of course, because Trump is now coming at it in the government ranks.
Right.
It's this is a big deal on the left. But again, we're going to stay out of the right, wrong, and we're going to look at it as a actual policy. And you're a guy that has worked with the biggest companies in America on organizational health. And I look at it and I go, the question I have for you is, it feels like this is a failed leadership solution for the simple fact that it is a checking of the box that props some people up. It doesn't actually help those people. It props them up.
Right.
Am I off?
No, you're right. I love this because I've been in the diversity business for 28 years. I've had a company for about that long. And we work with executive teams and companies, and it's like, understand your strengths, understand what makes you different. Why do you have a different perspective? We have been talking about this forever, and people use words, and they're like, well, how can you be against this? It's like, well, DEI is not that. DEI was not like truly about finding the best in people and raising, it was about checking off boxes.
Let's talk about the fact that CEOs go along with it because of the social pressure from their boards, the media. I mean, this happened.
Yeah.
So then they make it happen, Pat, and then they look at it as it actually begins to be implemented in their organization. I gotta believe, and this is a guess, and I think you know the answer. What does it do to a team? The policy itself, forget the politics of it. I just gotta believe it's awful.
Well, so I love this. So let's play this out.
Okay.
It gets back to that First Amendment thing, because so much of these principles apply to organizations and apply to society. If people don't speak up, they're oppressed and bad things happen. I was talking to my wife about this recently, and she said, and you know what they do? They go off and they do underground things that are not productive. Because people should have been able to go to a company and go, hey, this DEI program we're doing, hey, you have to understand it's offensive to me, or we're doing this and that's not good for these people, and it's leading to this, and can we talk about this? You couldn't do that. If you could have done that, and there could have been like a real dialogue, we probably would have figured out how to do it well. Similarly, if people really think people are being discriminated against based on their race or their gender, they should be able to walk into the office and go, I think we don't have people like in this room today, there's no women. That was just like, we got all the people to come to this. And it's like, I said to you when I walked in, where's all the ladies? It's all dudes. They're like, well, we pulled these people together. We didn't have any. There's other women in the room on the crew. We should talk about these things. And if a company thinks that they're actually not giving opportunities to people because of their race or their religion or their gender, then let's talk about that and fix that. But let's not put together a program that is solidifying unfairness in any direction. By the way, I'd be so angry if I was consulting to or working at a company that was discriminating against, soft or hard discrimination against people of gender, race, anything.
Sure.
That would piss me off. And I've lived my whole life that way. And then I get into my late 50s and suddenly it doesn't matter that you believe that just by the virtue of the color of your skin. You're probably, you know what I mean? It's like, this is crazy, man.
Yeah. And so I don't think most people realize there's a great difference between equity and equality.
Oh, yeah.
I think we got to discuss that.
Oh, yeah.
And so
equality of outcomes is communism.
Yeah.
Not really, pure communism.
Right. Equality's great. That's the virtue.
Equal opportunity, equal access.
But equity...
No.
It's a very different word.
Yeah. And did you notice that I said diversity and inclusion? I skipped over that one?
Yes. Yeah. But I want us to unpack that because I want to make sure that we have we have leaders and we have high performers listening, watching. We need to understand the difference, and I want your take on it. I know what the difference is, but we've thought that we hear diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I think most of us let that run right over. So we go, oh, yeah, it's equality. No.
Yeah. And if I think equity means the right thing, but nobody knows what that means, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
We think it's equal outcomes, which is like, well, you go like, okay, if all these students apply to the school, merit is the thing. It's like equal access and then merit-based decisions about everything from pay to access to schools and everything like that. Yeah. So you probably know more about this.
So my take is this, that equity is referring to everybody. Do we have this right equity of this amount of people, this type of person? It has nothing to do with equality. It's all about numbers.
Oh.
Yeah, so equity defined is
Fair and impartial.
fairness and impartial. But here's the deal: the very program of DEI is not fair and impartial. It is now I'm going to call it a program. It is a program that you must follow. And so now the very thing that was meant to promote fairness is actually not fair at all. And to your point, meritocracy.
Right.
Oh, there's a dirty word for a lot of people. It's one of my favorite words.
Yeah, it's coming back now.
It is coming back.
And it should be. And you know what's amazing? This is the thing that gets me is when I meet, and I've met many people of a race that's a minority, like African American or Hispanic or Asian, or a woman that believes in meritocracy and hates what's going on in DEI, they're hated the worst. When they oppose it, they get more pushback and anger than anyone from that 15%.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't really serve them. You know, they're like, could you please Martin Luther King was, what a great line. I dream for the day when people will be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
Right. That's exactly right.
And I'm like all back for that.
Right. All right. So let's talk, just because this is such a big issue, as leaders begin to see the Trump administration kind of taking the lead out on this. You've talked about a lot of CEOs that you know are going, this doesn't work organizationally from an organizational health standpoint. It creates all this, it's got to create a lot of weird junk in the hallways.
Oh.
How do you, as a leader who wants to see a diverse or promote it, what's the right way? What's the healthy way to take on that issue without making it this program and a decree?
Yeah, go to the purity of the concept underneath it and say, if we are being unfair and if there are good people that should work here or that should get promoted, and we believe that they're not getting hired or they're not getting promoted for any reason outside of their contribution to the company, it's like, let's double down on our opposition and anger about that. So I think that we should actually say, we want true diversity, true merit. Merit takes care of all of this. Because if somebody's not getting a job promotion or an opportunity because of the color of their skin, that's a massive violation of merit. We should go back and say the true underlying principles behind this are fairness. And as a follower of Jesus, that it is untenable that we allow that to happen. You don't create another thing that's worse. And there's a small group of people that will go, yeah, but I want it to be worse because I want to punish people from the past. It's like, that never leads to good things going forward. So I'm all for access and thinking, and I do that. I'm always thinking about so how can we reach out and do all these things, but never at the expense of merit, never at the expense of what you're trying to produce, because that hurts everybody. So let's just recommit to our underlying anger about any true discrimination that's going on, but not cover it up with another kind that we think that we have to support. And I don't know, maybe even that is politically incorrect. I don't think it is so much today, but it shouldn't be.